The mood of the voters is something very critical, as every politician will tell you. And while it is true that we don't have any general elections due for at least another roughly 2 years, I still put it to you that the mood of the voters is critical, very important. You see, it is possible to put a human being in a bad mood which they never get out of. Let me give you a very simple practical example. Your dear wife, the mother of your children, did not go very far in school. Yeah, she's not well schooled. But 5 years ago, it came to her attention that you're having an affair with a university professor. The fling, the affair, whatever you want to call it, has long since ended. But your wife's mood since then has never changed. She may smile, but deep inside, she still feels the pain. You know, it just beats me how people involved in political campaigns believe that they are so powerful that they can change human nature. And yet we have seen time and again all over the world, the bad mood of the voters persists for 3 years right into a general election. And they end up voting with hasira mingi, as we put it in Kenya. On today's show, we're going to focus on the current mood of Kenyan voters and how it is going to impact the next general elections, even if those elections are delayed until 2024. I am convinced, beyond any reasonable doubt, that this current mood will not change, and it cannot be changed by anything. But before we do that, let's take a look at some local examples. 2002 is a good one. The mood of Kenyan voters is that they were desperate for change, and also they had had more than enough. They were fed up with KANU. Leading politicians in the country sensed that, and they knew that whatever candidate was put to face the KANU candidate would win hands down. Why? Because of the mood in the country. Unpredictably, politicians got into all kinds of acrobatics to ensure that they would be the single opposition candidate against KANU's Uhuru Kenyatta. This made Daniel Arap Moi very confident. He was sure that there were going to be splinter groups amongst the opposition, weakening them, and therefore giving victory to Uhuru Kenyatta in 2002. Raila Odinga saved the situation with just 2 Swahili words, Kibaki Tosha. And the results of that election reflected very much the mood of the people. Because going into that election, KANU was a national party, very strong. Coming out of that election, KANU was almost non-existent. Folks, fear very much the mood of the voters, if you're a politician. Now, I've taken time over the last few days to find out what Kenyans really think about the current political situation in the country. I didn't go to Lavington and Muthaiga. No, I talked to the common man. The man and woman who hold the vast majority of votes. And to my surprise, I saw something that I have never seen in all my years of analyzing politics in the country called Kenya. That thing is anger. Very serious anger against leading lights on our political scene. Some of whom are very fond of organizing their tribes into cocoons, into voting blocks that follow orders like a robot. And one thing that I can tell you immediately, because we know what's going to happen as the elections approach, tribal chiefs will emerge, and they'll try to rally their tribes, respective tribes, behind them. And then those tribal chiefs will have an alliance behind one presidential candidate. That is how it has always been done in Kenya. It is very possible that they'll succeed once again. However, this one I know for sure. This time round, it's not going to be as easy as it has been in the past. You know, it is very easy to organize people into voting blocks when life is okay. Yeah, they have food on the table, they have a job, things are going okay, they have a small business, maybe they're hawking, money is coming in daily. Yeah, they're not rich, they're not comfortable, but they're okay. It's very easy to organize people into tribal cocoons in that kind of environment. But look at the environment in Kenya today. And then the last straw that broke the camel's back is this scandal over the embezzlement of COVID funds. Indeed, now we're being told, the biggest theft that Kenyans don't know about yet, that'll shock them even more, is the amount of money that was stolen, COVID funds, in the counties. Now, in my view, I believe that is a diversionary tactic, to take away the attention of the public from where the funds were really stolen. I talk about that in my latest weekly intelligence briefings. You can see details on your screen on how to get hold of it. Highly sensitive information. Weekly intelligence briefings. Moto kama pasi. Make sure you get hold of it. Okay? Anyway, let's proceed. In my view, this is a perfect opportunity for a candidate from nowhere to make a serious mark in this coming presidential elections. Now, I know a lot of you will say, this thing will be rigged, deep state, blah, blah, blah. But let me tell you something that you may not know. To rig an election successfully, you need some numbers. You need a certain threshold of numbers. If you're rejected so resoundingly that you come nowhere near the threshold of numbers, your rigging will not be viable. In other words, go for a landslide victory, and no rigging can stop you. Let me give you perfect examples. In 1992 and 1997, the late President Daniel Arap Moi was easily re-elected, rigging or no rigging. And it was interesting that all the other opposition presidential candidates put together had more votes than President Moi. Bottom line, had they teamed up and produced only one candidate, no rigging would have stopped them. It's as simple as that. And many of you, with an ear to the ground, will agree with me that the current very angry mood of voters is enough to give a candidate a landslide victory. If you want to know how serious things are, there's some Kenyans, in fact very many Kenyans, who are now embracing the death penalty for people found guilty of stealing public funds. Now, if you asked me, I wouldn't support such a law. Because as they say, the law cuts both ways. I can see some dirty politicians rubbing their hands in glee at the passing of such a law. Because it is a very easy way of getting rid of an opponent, political opponent, forever. All you do is that you set them up, you frame them. They are found guilty of corruption, and that's it. You see, Kenyans are yet to understand something very important. That is wrong with our country. Our problem is not our laws. There is nothing wrong with them. Indeed, many of our laws are admired outside the country, in very faraway places. The problem is the people we entrust with those laws, the people we elect as our leaders. What do you expect when you elect leaders who decide which court orders to obey and which ones to throw into the dustbin? How does that work when some laws are implemented to the letter and others are ignored? Is your problem really your constitution? Is your problem really the law? No. It is the people you entrust to safeguard, to protect that constitution. Think about it and make sure you catch my latest weekly intelligence briefings to discover the real deal with all these COVID funds. Hula baloo. I think let me just leave it at that. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.